Getting started in theater is incredibly difficult, and then maintaining a career is even harder. Can you talk a little bit about how you got to the theater? Or, I mean, obviously you mentioned
Sure.
singing as your whole, life, but
Yeah,
Boston.
I was very interested in the arts in general from like as soon as I could talk, as early as I remember. Um, Margaret brought up I was the first person to try and portray Maleficent from The Sleeping Beauty when I was 2. I was very good, and I exactly. I started taking ballet at 3. My mom had taken me to go see the Nutcracker, and I literally went up on stage afterwards and started twirling around, and they're like, "Oh, okay." The funny story there, my mom would make my dad take me to the classes so that all the moms knew that it was my choice that I was going to the class and not the mother pushing the child into it. But then my grandmother and my grandfather would take me to go see shows at the Roxy Theater in Clarksville. I mean, I saw so many shows there as a child, and it was when I was 8 years old. I did The Secret Garden at the Roxy, and that was the first musical I'd ever done. And I was hooked because I was getting to sing and act and dance all in once. Well, I was in a wheelchair in that show, so I didn't dance, but potentially I could in other shows. So from that point on, it was that was the route. I pulled out of ballet a couple of years later, unfortunately, and it was not for me. I lack a lot of grace in that aspect. But I did it all throughout high school. I started going to, I would stay with my grandparents for the summer and do the summer shows at the Roxy. I did Grease, and I played Huck Finn in Big River, which was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Sweet Charity. And that's where I learned the basics. And the 2 guys who run the theater, Tom and John, are they might be running a theater in Clarksville, Tennessee, but they have New York standards, and they wouldn't let me get away with anything inappropriate for the theater, even at 14, 15. You know what I mean? They treated me like how a professional actor would be treated, and that taught me a lot even before I went into school for it.